This is level I and we're up to list 6 and this is your day 1 page. So let's have a look at these words. We've got babies, ladies, ponies, parties, daisies, carries, nannies, berries, cherries, hurries. So choose a colour and you'll notice in all of these words we have IES on the end of them. So let's colour that first. So the base word of all of these words would be different. The base word of babies would be baby. But we had to change the Y to an I and add ES. And we only do that if the letter before the Y is a consonant. So let's highlight those consonants in as well. So if you have a consonant, or we've got double consonants here before a Y, you have to change the Y to an I and add your ES. Now some of these have a long vowel sound before the consonant and some of them have a short vowel sound. So babies, ladies, ponies, parties, daisies all have a long vowel sound, and that's why we only have one consonant after a long vowel sound in these multisyllabic words, or these words that have more than one part to them. Whereas in these words you can see we've got a short vowel. Short vowel, double the consonant. 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 So there's quite a lot in this one. Now you know, to know whether to put a C or a K for the kut sound, you know that if we did look at the letter A, you can sort of see a C hidden in there, and that's your prompt to use a C for the kut sound before an A. Or you could just remember that whenever you have an A after a kut sound, you're always going to use a C, whichever way you choose to remember it. The other thing here we're revising is CH makes a chut sound there. Alright, so let's have a look at what these words all mean. Babies, well we talked about a baby in the last list. It's an infant or a young child. But remember, if it's more than one, we change the Y to an I and add ES. Ladies means a group of ladies. So if you only have one, you'd say lady, but you have a group of them, you say ladies. And we change the Y to an I and we add the ES. Ponies are small horses. So if you have a group of them, you'd say ponies. Parties is when there's more than one party. And all the people are having lots of fun. Sometimes in life you might have to go to more than one party. Daisies are lots of flowers. Carries, now this is a verb, so if he's doing this, he's carrying some books, you might say he carries his books to school. So that's a verb. A nanny could be someone who your parents may pay to look after you, or it could be a grandparent. So if there's lots of them, we change it to nanny, so it becomes a plural. So quite a few of these words are nouns, but we do have some verbs in here too. Berries is something that you can eat, and if you have lots of them, which you usually do, we say berries. Cherries is another type of fruit, and hurries, we've changed the Y to an I too. It means to go fast, go somewhere quickly. Okay, let's read the word, sound the word, spell the word, cover them and write them. So don't forget you've got quite a bit in here. Don't forget you're changing the Y to an I and you're adding the ES. So we've got babies, ease, 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 BABIES, BABIES, BABIES. Cover it and write it 3 times. And don't forget to check it. Make sure your letters are sitting on the line too and not jumping up into the air. By this stage you should really be able to get them on the line. You can finish the rest of that page. This is level I, list 6, and we're doing the day 2 page. Our words are babies, ladies, ponies, parties, daisies, carries, nannies, berries, cherries, hurries. So in these words we've got, we're adding the ES to all of them, so we had to change the Y to an I and then add the ES. So you can highlight that in each of these words. Now let's look at what else we've got in these words. We've got a long vowel sound, babies, ladies, peonies, pearties, daisies. All of those are long vowel sounds. So after a long vowel sound, we know to put one consonant. So you can highlight that as well. And then here, in these ones, we've got short vowel sounds. So we're going to have, highlight the short vowel, the atries, anties, etries, etries, upries. And we know after a short vowel sound, we're going to put two consonants. So you can colour in the two consonants down here in all of these words. Okay, so what do these words mean? We know when we have more than one, this will be more than one baby. So a baby is a young child. If we have more than one lady, or it's a female, an older female, means they're grown up. If we have more than one, we say ladies. Ponies are small horses, so if we have more than one, we'd say ponies. So these are all nouns. Parties could be a noun or a verb. So if it was a verb, you might say he likes to party all the time, he parties all the time. Daisies is a noun, it's a flower. Carries is a verb, it's something you can do, you can carry, you can lift things and move them to another place. Nannies could be a noun or a verb. She nannies for other people. Lots of people employ nannies, so it could be used either way. A berry is a fruit which has its seed on the outside, and they're usually tiny. Cherries have usually one big seed in the centre, so that's the difference between a berry and a cherry. Hurries means to move quickly, so that is going to be a verb as well. Now that will help you down here because you've got to work out which are the nouns and which are the verbs. So we just talked about that up here, which ones are the nouns and which ones are the verbs. So the verbs are the things you can do, and the nouns are the names of people, places or things up there. So then down here all you have to do is find the words, all of these words hidden in this word search. This is level I, day 3, and we're doing list 6. So we've got babies, ladies, ponies, parties, daisies, carries, nannies, berries, cherries, hurries. So in all of these words you need to highlight the IES on the end of all of the words, and remember that if we have a consonant before a Y, we must change the Y to an I before we add the ES. So some of these words are nouns and some are verbs. So we've got one consonant before the IES in all the top rows, so we need to change colours for the next row where we've got two consonants. We've got double R, double N, double R, double R, double R. So we know the rule is, with a different colour, after a long vowel sound, A, O, R, A, we put one consonant after a long vowel sound, and down here we're looking at short vowel sounds, and we're putting two consonants after a short vowel sound. So we've got and the double consonant after that. So it's quite a lot to remember in these words. The AR for R should be easy for you by now, and the AI for the long A sound should be easy for you too. Right, so down here you have to write the base word, and there's a hint. If there is a consonant before the Y, change the Y to an I and then add ES. Now, if you're taking away the ES and taking it back to the base word, that means you've got to change the I back to a Y. So you've got to reverse it back. You're not going to let a word end in I because English words never ever end in an I. That's a rule. So you can write those base words there. Verb families, we want them in their different tenses. There's a hint here as well. Do not change the Y to an I when adding ing. English words don't have double I in them. So you have to leave that Y in there, even though we don't like Y's in the middle of English words. And that is because the reason we have to leave the Y in there is because if we changed it to an I, that we just can't have double I in an English word. You can't get rid of that sound too. You can't go babbing, so you've got to have the E sound there. So the Y needs to stay in there for that E sound at the end of that word. Okay, so here you're writing a base word. Here you're changing the Y to an I and adding the ES, which is what you've got in your base words, in your list words up here. Here we're adding the ing and leaving the Y in all of them because there's a consonant before the Y in all of those words. And here you're changing the Y to an I and adding the ED all the way down there. Now down here you've got alphabetical order, and we've put different types of berries there for you to put in order. So you have to say the alphabet. If one of those words starts with that letter, then you're going to write that word first. If you've got two words with the same first letter, then you have to look at the second letter, like you've got blackberry and blueberry and boysenberry. So you'd have to look at the second letters. Okay, you've got an L and an O, so it'd be one of these two L ones first. Then you have to look at the third letter. So blackberry would come before blueberry, which would come before boysenberry. So you can write those in alphabetical order. This is level I, list 6. We're doing the day 4, and we've got a fun activity for you to do today. You're going to follow a procedural text to make something. If you have a look at the end, you can see what you've made. It's a little cat. So procedural text, it's an origami cat. Procedural text used to explain how to make or do something. The goal, this bit here, you've got to state what the activity is, and you're going to be making a cat. The materials, list any of the materials that someone would need to achieve this goal. So you've got to list all the things that you use to make this cat. So obviously you might need some paper and you might need scissors, etc. So take note of what you've used and list them here. Now you just have to follow the instructions to make the cat and read them very, very carefully and do exactly as they say. So you'll realise that when you write a procedural text to tell someone how to do something, you've got to give very, very clear instructions. Have fun.